the #1 seeded player going to this tournament, Serral. The player who has just won 2 Challenger Series in a row.
I was very confident against Stefano, going up against him. But I was still a bit scared, to be honest. But not too much. I'm so confident in my CVC that I'm not really scared of any Zergs now.
The multitask, everything, the micro, the reaction to everything. Like sure, a couple of drops here did some damage, but GG gets called and PtitDrogo.
Yeah, well, the caster are right to call me Mr. Inconsistency. Like that's a little bit what I'm known for these days. Especially when you consider the last event, WCS Austin, where I lost in the group stage to someone I was very favored against. That one really hurt, so I really wanted to come into this tournament like not doing that again, hopefully. And I did. I didn't do that again, so I'm really happy and I'm looking forward to the next match as a bonus, kind of.
He's annihilating Scarlet's forces here, surrounding them. More Lings in the fray, even getting Burrow at this crazy intense time. I don't know what for.
wow.
Biles all over the production of Scarlet.
We're pretty similar mechanically, so I wanted to surprise her at the beginning. So like, I prepared that strategy for pretty much each map.
An amazing day of games, those awesome upsets, and I think something that comes back to my mind that you already mentioned, that base trade, Cham against Snoot, seeing the players come up that we wouldn't have picked at the start of this tournament.
No, not at all. It was awesome to see. That was just a great series. We can talk about it forever, but I mean, Drogo as well, just coming out guns blazing. I definitely didn't think he had no shot against Nurcho, but I thought it was going to be difficult. He played clean, and that sets us up for an amazing quarterfinals where Drogo goes up against Serral, who, you know, kind of dismantled Stefano a little bit. And also want to give a shout out to Neep, obviously. I mean, our reigning champion. This is not something we see super often in these StarCraft tournaments. Looked a little shaky on the first day. Was kind of struggling to get out of the group. Was one map away from being eliminated by TLO. Then yesterday we're like, this is going to be a great series. Sort of is awesome. And Neep is just showing us that
destroyed.
Yeah, PvZ can actually be very simple, guys.
We actually avoided a disaster as well because we've been hyping up Special, and deservedly so. He's in Korea training some of the best TVZ we've seen. And then he narrowly lost to Bly, who is not particularly known for his EVT, but was able to kind of make it close.
Yeah, and of course you guys can see the bracket here. This is the top 8. We are going all the way through to the grand finals today. A lot of matchups representing all races and many different countries, but quite a bit heavy on the Mexicans. It was really awesome to see that American representation here. We are ready to get into our first match. Smix is on the main stage to introduce our first 2 players of day 3.
That is right, Nathaniel. We went from 80 players and now we are down to just 8. But of course, we have our first players for our first quarterfinal match. Our first player is a DreamHack Leipzig champion who 3-0'd Nurcho in the round of 16. And he's hoping to continue that momentum into the round of 4. Now, his opponent is one of the best European players in the world, fighting for his highest finish at a tournament yet. Yeonshiping, please welcome on stage. It is PtitDrogo and Serral.
Another Protoss versus Zerg matchup. We had this chat at the start of day 2. Can Drogo cleave his way through a sea of Zergs? He has a few to go through if he wants to make it to that championship, Roddy.
Yes, absolutely. This is going to be a tough one, though. Perhaps the toughest of them all. I loved almost everything that Drogo did yesterday, but there were still a couple of things. On Blood Boil, for instance, you know, he just didn't respect the mutas at all, and it worked out because Nurcho just went back. He made a couple mutas, like we often see in the current meta, 6, 7, to force out the reaction. But Jeff, as a fellow Protoss player on the ladder, you know that if we react like that, like a cannon here or cannon there, no blink, no Stargate, you know what happens, Nate? 28 mutas show up a minute later, and I have no income anymore. And I think that Serral is good enough to pick up on stuff like that immediately. He's like, oh, you don't respect my Spire? Well, let's make a few more mutas, and I'll show you why people used to make Stargates, or used to get...
那今天是 WCS 延雪平战第3天哦，也是从8强一路就直接打到决赛。那第一场是 Serral 打 PtitDrogo。Serral 现在是目前欧洲最强的虫族，那 PtitDrogo 现在也是现在欧洲最强的神族，特别是他 PvZ， 他打虫族特别厉害。
But Serral is that nemesis. He's the guy that the European scene in particular has been talking up for a while, saying this guy, when playing his best, is your superstar.
那根据这两位的话，应该还是打英语为主吧。毕竟他们不像不赖，不赖的话就有可能是会先放大招。他们这个预测也蛮一半一半的，表示说这两名选手实力是很接近的。
Quite an epic story for Drogo in this tournament. Nurcho, of course, is a player that we lauded quite a bit coming into this tournament. One of the players to potentially make it all the way again to the finals, but Drogo smacked him down in a pretty convincing manner. This tournament kind of goes off the rails if Drogo wins here, right?
Well, he beat him on Blood Boil, which going into this was one of our storylines where we're like, that's just not going to happen. What are these players going to do to make up for that? PtitDrogo actually played fairly I mean, he calls it really greedy. He says it's not going to work if you see it coming, but that's the kind of thing you have to do.
年纪都不大，一个19岁，一个21岁。在累积奖金的话 ，PtitDrogo 这边拿到68000块美金。其实这些奖金都只是计算在有记录的比赛，啊，如果再加上战队他们给他的薪水，应该就不止这样。那 Serral 是去年还前年，他是为了准备学业，所以他才没有打很多比赛。好，我们看一下 ban pick， 他们 ban 掉了普罗西玛跟含血着地，他们这两张的确还是要 ban 的。那他们第一张选，这个好像是飞升艾尔，第一张飞升艾尔，第二张深海礁岩，第三张我忘记了叫什么，然后第四张奥德赛，第五张程序中。其实他们会放出普罗西玛还蛮奇怪。通常应该是先把第三张图那一张崩掉才对，因为中间那个路太近了，很容易神出去打一波。那现在预测的话 ，Serral 这边是74%。
This is a decent map pool, but it's safe to say that if Drogo wants to advance here, Abyssal pretty much a must-win, and I would almost even say that Ascension to Ire is probably kind of a must-win as well.
Think so?
Yeah, Defender's Landing is very tough. Sequencer, the game decided, I mean, that's where the series gets decided. I agree with you, that's really not that bad. Pretty fair, even map. Some even say good for Protoss. But yeah, Ascension to Ire is going to give us a good feel for the series. See if Drogo can keep up with the speed.
他们表定时间是那边当地的1:20分打，那选手已经在比赛的那个选手室，那不知道会不会就直接提前打。如果真的要20分打，其实要等很久。
And he didn't just win it. It wasn't like lower bracket, epic, you know, best of.
那这次延雪平冠军也是直接保送到年底的 PtitCon 的种子哦。那现在的 PtitCon 确定的种子有 TY、Nib 跟巴本 States 3个人。那这次延雪平打完，跟这礼拜6的GS 打完就。多2个种子。
Thank you very much, guys. We are ready to go into our first match of the round of 8. Give it up. It's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg, PtitDrogo versus Serral.
All right, the young Finn with all the hype behind him. Is the French baguette going to be strong enough to take him down? What are your thoughts on this one, Todd?
We saw great things from PtitDrogo in his earlier rounds against Nurcho, so it was a 3-0 victory. If you can beat Nurcho, usually you can do well against most Zergs, but he's not facing just any Zerg. Serral won back-to-back challenger, and is currently the best European player that we've got, not even just the best European Zerg, in my opinion.
I mean, we did see Showtime having a great one back in the Challenger.
这是 Serral 他们这个分组其实还蛮有利的，对他来讲。如果运气好一点，他如果打赢 PtitDrogo， 他有可能会直接到决赛，因为他他打完这个神族之后，一路就是 DVC。那虫族内战他是很强，在之前的 欧洲那边的海选赛几乎都3-0出现。我们看一下地图哦，这个是菲森艾尔，在右下角，来自芬兰的 Serral。在地图左上角，来自法国的神帝 PtitDrogo。
Playing for Team Mindsanity and hailing from France, it is PtitDrogo.
现在目前欧洲的神族就他跟修泰是最强。还有一个是尼本，不过尼本是在美洲。这边 PtitDrogo 这边是 BG 开之后探路哦。通常狠点是直接下完水晶之后就探路，这样的话就可以第一时间干扰你二矿。那这边来主要是看你有没有比较狗食很快之类的。通常 BG 开，你现在看，如果狗食盖好，就要开始出狂战。这边是很正常裸双数狗开。等等看2分40秒的时候 ，Serral 会不会放下自己的伤况？
And he's going to be working hard to fight for it. Of course, PtitDrogo, a player
with Laser a lot.
The other absolute top-tier Zerg player who Serral has been edging out in Zerg vs Zerg, but a Laser really is a powerhouse in this matchup as well. So Drogo practices with the best. I expect him to not be outshined drastically. The question is, does he have enough of an edge to take down Serral in this best of 5? And it's definitely going to be a big task.
The good thing about Laser is that he's on paper the second best European player right now, and that counts also for Zerg. He took second place twice in the most.
因为 Serral 是没有打算要速杀，所以他这边有可能是等到2分40秒才要去开伤号。
Laser has a fairly different style than
这边
Serral.
狗出来先把这个农民逼退。
But with pneumatized carapace openers a lot more. And maybe a little bit more.
是 VC 开，那这边可能是要打攻速教室。
Doesn't particularly attack, but Serral definitely has a more conservative approach to ZVP than.
哦，不对，他这边出了一只追猎，他想要风侦察。他如果要风侦察，就有可能是要出引刀。好，这边一条狗上面看到教室，还行还行。等等，这一条狗可能也会被封住，问题不大。啊，这个狗应该是看不到科技哦，这边只看到2个兵营而已。啊，这边看到 VR， 可不可以看往旁边走看到 VC 哦？看到 VC 很关键哦，因为 VC 他现在是没有在，就是没有在用科技。如果他要用科技的话，他那个建筑物会发光。好，这边果然是走引刀，因为他有出一只追猎去风侦察。我很可惜，因为追猎前期被一只小狗闹到，所以他没办法第一时间来到主矿去驱赶蝗虫。那这边Serral只要准时的4分半下包子塔就好，不急。这边选择3分半张塔，然后跳日本。
What I find really interesting though about the situation that this forces in the matchup is normally you will see Serral preferring Hydralisk Baneling, and that's kind of the common composition of the Protoss players.
看 PtitDrogo 是打分是直接用引刀骚扰，还是要直接变白球骚扰？
And he usually skips the Hydras. He just gets out Mutalisks to chase the Archon and drops home.
那这一套有些人打比较凶的是2白球骚扰之后转8兵营狂战士冲狂打一波，这个战术很凶。这边士兵已经好了，这边可能会先刷一轮 DT。
Mostly worried about defending the opening here of PtitDrogo, which again he wasn't able to fully.
好，这边4分半果然是准时放下包子塔，不急。其实这边也很省，就只有主矿放一个包子塔而已。然后后续是靠金草王虫去做反引的动作。好，这边是直接变2个白球，因为他第一时间发现说你 VC 是没有在加速东西，所以 PtitDrogo 也知道 Serral 知道他没有出攻速教室，那没有出攻速教室就走引刀这个选项。好，这边白球开始烧，操作好的其实这2个白球是可以无伤换到很多东西。 因为白球它大部分的血是护盾嘛，350护盾，那护盾是可以回的。
You see Saleh, the bodyguard man of that third base. Currently, Serral is too busy defending at home to put on any sort of counter attack just yet.
这边有一只狗一直在看 PtitDrogo 的伤况，不过它伤况是放在下面。不过问题不大，下面有一只王虫。那这个2个白球是几乎没有杀到什么东西啊，只杀一只白球。我主要这2白球就是到处找魔王虫。 扫一波，先封住外面的视野，反正就是先让你感觉到很烦。啊，这边是转冲锋狂，也是蛮正统。最近神族要回到以前重新的打法，都回到冲锋狂，然后接不朽白球。
And I like this. I do feel like Hydrazari's strength, especially against Drogo, a player.
这是 Serral 4基地是直接开在上面哦，他不是选择下面。这样的话，他防白球的话是比较容易的，因为如果是放在主矿左上角那边的话，它可以来回主矿4矿一直烧。啊，如果放上面的话，其实烧到程度就被局限了。 这边 PtitDrogo 不够狠哦，有些比较狠的是直接2个人进刷2个白球，双线烧。这边是 Serral 是打算走狗头炮刺死，然后有可能会转遁地兽。
In that case, you're probably going to accept the slightly delayed mining time.
这边
lots of charge lots being spotted as well.
防弹是刷。
Serral has a good idea of what he's up against. Charge lots of mortals. And Storm and Archon still quite a while away. Both players not on a crazy like work account, but that's better for Drogo than this for Serral. Serral only now going up to
电兵塔也放下来，等等也可以转出3、4只电兵。这时候 Serral 要把握住这个机会，就是电兵没有电的时候，这时候要先去尝试性的牵压。 因为你不可能让神族营运的太爽，如果让神族营运的太爽，对虫族其实是一件很不利的事情。这边正面部队是2个白球，2个不朽，3个不朽。挡这一波其实没什么问题啊，这个兵够多，这边只要立场放得好，就可以隔住了。但 Serral 可能不要冲这个斜坡啊，他让这个斜坡。因为闪电大概还有20秒时间，这4基地可不可以逼退？应该是可以逼退。好，这边逼退一次，这样还行。 这 Serral 可能要先转飞龙塔，先把这个外面的人进给抓掉。没有，他就是要打正面。我打正面，他这波兵有点少，毒爆不够多。这边2边都在做双线。这边 Serral 分兵意识做得很好，没什么问题。
Perhaps send any more Zealots, because Serral's just ready back at home. And Serral's just looking to try and max out here. This is a bit unusual. Like, a lot of the time you're going to see him go straight into Hive.
这边 Serral 是要跳3本哦。跳3本，他这边有可能是出大龙。因为这个组合其实出牛的话，其实也是会第一时间被打爆的。
Oh, these Zealots just gonna get a couple of drones before they get cleaned up. Drogo needs to hang on to this 4th base.
这边刺手有点脱节啊！我这边电兵电得不错。那白球顶前面挡，哇，这边 Serral 很亏。这样双方人口差不多。这边 PtitDrogo 可能要先反正一波。这边有点不妙啊。
Then he will be able to hold on there. They will keep gathering energy.
真主要是因为这个冷静给Serral的压力蛮大的，所以他导致他会留一小波部队在自己的家中去做防守，导致自己的正面不够强。
The closer you can get to maxing out or getting very high on supply here as PtitDrogo, the more comfortable you're gonna feel against a tier
这边再刷2个叉，
army.
这差也不用多，就是给你一点压力。好，这边看哦，这电兵有滚到哦。这边不过这边刺蛇很脆啊。
Yeah, 4 High Templar actually went down in that engagement, Todd. But he catches a lot of Banelings morphing on the return. Not bad. Distracting with that counterattack at the same time.
不过这边Serral好像有反烧了一波。我们看那 PtitDrogo 有10只龙，这10只龙有可能是绕狗去杀到的。
So he left a lot of roaches there, and every single time that zealots were sent there, whereas most
白球数量不朽数量也很多啊。这边可能真的要跳大龙啊。 可是这大龙 C 有点慢，可能来不及转好，这边可能要再尝试性再换一波。哇，这边毒爆，这应该是2攻的，很痛。好，这边可能要展开一个大弧形去打。啊，这毒爆全部都抓在电兵身上，哇，这样 PtitDrogo 这一波可能打不下来，因为这边不朽全都残血。 好，这边先点掉人技。哇，这边那 PtitDrogo 这边这些兵都回不去了。我们全送光
GG! What a sudden 1-0 victory there for Serral.
这边最后那一波电兵被炸掉，真的太伤了。他这个立场如果再放得好一点，其实有机会打得下来。 不过其实 PtitDrogo 爆兵其实真的很猛，能跟虫族追得那么紧，真的很强。不愧是非韩最强 PVZ 的选手。
Serral was not rushing his hive as early as he normally did, but Drogo had no idea. All he had for scouting was that Warp Prism and that charge lock counterattacks, and he is almost certainly used to playing against a Serral or a Laser. These top Zerg players normally rush to that hive and they say you need to attack into me. And you could see Drogo was so overeager.
第2张好像是奥德赛吧？奥德赛的话又是一张虫族。
Didn't quite take care of those High Templar just well enough. Serral always sending in those small squads of Banelings, constantly counter-attacking that 4th base as well with the Banelings, which we actually missed on camera because there was so much going on. And eventually, he finds the High Templar in the open. They go
down. 也可以想想不同战术。毕竟这一招2白球骚扰，其实很久以前就有，去年就开始在打。
That was it right there.
That's what it comes down to a lot in that middle phase. It's that super fragile splash damage, and it's so funny how different the game looks. If you protect those High Templar, you land the storms, suddenly the Protoss can look invincible. But Serral, the real art there is just finding uncomfortable
记错了，第2张图是深海礁岩，那这样的话还可以。
In that movement, the weak underbelly.
他这边很多的神族。 也一样会走不朽白球路线，只是说更多的很多人会偏向走航母。这张图其实开飞机还蛮强。
Charge lot attacks or counter attacks and run bys across the map were being completely shut down, so he maybe went into a little bit of a panic and was thinking, I need to go right now. If he had known that there was no hive for the longest time, he might have just maybe kind of sat back, taken it easy, and tried to max out before going across the map. Especially if you can have like 6 to 7 High Templars with full energy, it's a game changer. It's very important to be able to reach that. Maybe
这张图对 PtitDrogo 意义很重大。这张图如果拿不下来，下一张图是那个路很近的那张图。那张图如果再被 Serral 拿，没有，这是包5嘛？ 所以他现在反正1分都不能失啊。
There wasn't a lot of hallucination energy, and hallucination is one of the key things Protoss players use to scout. Drogo, though, a player who loves to just rely on playing a solid style that works most of the time, and he will cut out that scouting, cut out those unnecessary things whenever he can. He's going to have to try and fight hard to work his way back into this series here in the quarterfinals of WCS延雪平. We are going to be diving into map number 2 on Abyssal Reef. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand side, the Zerg player representing NCE Esports. It is Serral.
然后在第5左上角来自法国神帝 PtitDrogo。
Protos and Helling from France. He needs to bring it back. It's PtitDrogo. He showed some good things, I think, in that game. Like considering he's playing Serral, right? Like I didn't think he was completely out of it. The whole way up until the point.
但主要是第2场主要看 PtitDrogo 在出打什么。在 Serral 这边，因为已经有1比0领先了，所以他这场会打比较稳。
And see the exit area
见招拆招啊
around the natural base of Zerg, and then you'll see everything that's leaving the base. You're gonna be able to size up the army of the Zerg, right?
这边前期
And then
工
you
兵
can
干
no
扰
longer
你
be
采
wary
矿。
about engagements in the middle of the map. Now it felt more like PtitDrogo moved toward the middle of the map, wasn't looking at his army, and
他这边
attacked him.
双方其实操作都不错，前期这种小细节。
Like paintings were like crashing into it and blowing up.
这种干扰矿会干扰多少钱？如果干扰的好，大概可以影响到30块到50块，大概是一个农民的价钱。
I know you've experienced a lot in the past yourself as a competitor. It's a lot
这
about
很多
opponent's
高端
attention
神族，
and being able to
因为
focus
他
on
们
correct
基本
areas
功好
yourself.
嘛，可以一
I
直
think
在
that'll play a big part into
让那
this.
只农
What
民一
was
直去
interesting
干
is
扰
that
你的
last map was
采
Serral's
矿
map。pick, right? He picked that map, he won the map he was strong on, and I think a big part of that is shutting down those Warp Prism charge lot counterattacks, which you were pointing that out, Todd. He just was like, this is the one angle they can come from, I'm always going to be prepared for it. But here on Abyssal Reef, on Drogo's pick, there's a few more angles that his Warp Prism can fly in from the dead space on the edge of the map. He can get into the main base, the back of the natural.
等下看 PtitDrogo 170是投资到什么？
But last game,
他如果170没有放 V7，那就有可能是走
maybe going to the main.
走那个飞机场
And I saw there was an overlord
VS 的
there for
路
Serral,
线。
so we would have seen that if it had been going to the main. I'm pretty sure he's going to do the same thing here once again. If we get to that point, that's why he's so good. He plans for everything.
好，这边157他会放什么 VS？
That was a lot.
好，这边他要先支开了。
On the third base that he was leaving there.
可能会出到2000只哦。
Just explaining how important it is to do that, man, because so many.
因为这张图其实打到后期的话，开航母真的是不错的选择。这张图太多的那个什么，
If you're as good as him, you just leave a bunch of
这个叫弯道吗？这种很难正面去突破。
You've got your roaches set up. You can
这边一样出一个嘴里的风侦察，不过这个狗上去是能看到 VS， 好，没什么问题哦。看到 VS 这个进度的话，3分40秒再放包子塔就可以。
Meanwhile, completely defending Drogo's
40秒，4分钟再放也可以。
all the warning he needs. He knows
照样
it's
时
going
间
to
是
be
来得及。
oracles. Another very good way to pressure Zergs on this map because there are so many ways in on those.
这一样是，
I really wonder we might see a
这
little
应该是2矿会放包子塔，然后主矿，
trying to freeze those drones.
主矿然后就慢大概10秒到20秒，再放包子塔。
If you can get the lava and a couple of the drones that are mining the minerals, you're right.
它是主矿2矿一起放，这样也可以。
You know what's the best, Todd? If they're about to be supply blocked and you actually freeze 4 or 5 overlords.
先之间出去烧。
They actually get supply blocked for like a minute.
2000只开局，
ending.
然后后面会转凤凰。
If that happens this game, like trust me, it
然
is
后
very
打一个
rare. You will
凤凰教室
occasionally see
来
it
打一
happen,
个
and it can
前
absolutely
压。
destroy a Zerg's build-up because you actually force the supply block without even killing overlords. It's so cool.
哦，不过他这样飞的话，感觉是直接埋陷阱哦。这感觉是不会开那个戳人的那个技能，他是直接放陷阱。你们看他陷阱怎么放？好，这边放瓦斯场很聪明，这边卵全部会被定到，哇，不错。这大概有6个卵，然后加一只妈妈，干扰还蛮多的。
So it's not like the queen can just pop out of that and pop.
现在比较多神族都是以放陷阱为主。
Frozen in time, and you do not regenerate energy when you're frozen in time, Todd.
因为如果你在包子塔下面硬戳，大概就只能戳2到3只哦。可是你放陷阱，至少是干扰很多东西。啊，这边教室5只教室，这边狗也蛮多的，要防住不是什么问题哦。所以2只教室进去。
Not the
这
greatest
边
trade
没
there.
什么问题
Serral
反手做得不错。
Oracle's going to come in.
Serral
And great spore crawler tricks to save those drones, but even a
这
couple
感觉
of
非常
them
好
down. Drogo doing everything he can to pick away at this work account, and so far, so good. He's got a nice little work lead for himself so far.
Both players playing really well. I really feel like they both did that super well, like Serral with the defense, and PtitDrogo really keeping Serral honest, making sure he kills a few drones here and there and forces.
这边来干扰你的三矿，这边稍微被迫交了立场，不过被吃一个。
Mothership Go a little bit slow on the overcharge. One sentry already goes down. And not only that, but using the energy up.
Serral 稍微赚了一些，他吃掉一只哨兵。哨兵这个东西很吃气哦，所以你吃掉它几只就很赚，因为你狗是只要金矿就可以造出来的东西。VRVC 这个是要转什么？冲锋狂。
He is such a macro-focused Protoss player, and he is looking towards that mid game, looking like he wants to go toe-to-toe with Serral in a macro game. Nothing coming out of either of these players. Oh, the Overlord has taken Oh, and that Arc is down. Drogo with his
这边还剩一只先知来点现金。哦，这边 Serral 反应真的快，不过这边还是有很大量的卵被地。
And these are starting to accumulate a little bit of damage.
Yeah, Serral. Overall, I would say he's done a good job of defending this, minimizing the units that get.
这场比赛，PtitDrogo 点了3次哦，3次都有中到人，那这样对 Serral 经济也影响不小。
Taking a 4th and 5th is going to be easier than most on the maps and keeping them just
这
because
边果
the
然是
bases
转
are
冲锋
so
狂，
close together.
那等等一样是人进在外面一直传快，但是去做骚扰。PtitDrogo 这边放到4矿。
Think about whether he wants to go into Broodlords or something else.
我觉得 PtitDrogo 其实4矿开得非常早，4号不怕 Serral。
Armies, you're gonna have to counter them with Broodlords. So this is most likely what we're
Serral 出了狗吃蛇，他看到你开4矿，那这不能忍了，一定要压一波。他这边可能会开始爆吃蛇。 这些狗可能等下会变毒爆虫，可是它毒爆速度有点慢了，大概还要在40秒才会好。不过也行，因为这还是要等刺蛇过来嘛，其实等这个时间是 OK 的。这边变成2只凤凰强行侦察，这边有看到很大量刺蛇。 所以这边 PtitDrogo 也要开始刷兵房。其实他能进真的去骚扰兵不是很多，他主要是给你一些防守上的压力而已。只要你有一边防守突然崩了，他就会开始刷大量杀去打你那个缺口。好，这边 PtitDrogo 也在4矿这边放了一堆陷阱，防止你第一时间冲过去。这边刷了6个叉，这边有看到，应该也不会过去，因为这边被虫灾看到了。 跟刺蛇开始在咬石头。
Positioning from Serral, he's got the squad of Hydra Zergling ready to stop the charge lot counterattacks on the north side once again.
这边 Serral 等等打完之后，可能要绕一些狗进去，看有没有陷阱。因为他知道对面有被定蛮多的。他知道对面有先知，但其实他应该要先拉几条狗去引那个地雷。好，这边 PtitDrogo 2线开始在烧。 Serral 正面有点停滞了，其实正面就要开始打了。这样的话只是，这样有可能 PtitDrogo 就可以把那个前期劣势拉回来。
A fantastic bunch of delaying tactics here from Drogo, and look at this 4th
这边
base.
电兵也做出来了。
There's more and more storm. The Immortals are starting to join in. Drogo with textbook defense.
不过这场 Serral 的地面2攻提蛮快的。这边看立场，看立场。 看立场，这边定了一小波狗，这边主要是毒爆虫，能不能轮到电兵？不过这边正面只剩2个白球，3个白球跟2个不朽。哦，不朽还有5台哦，那还行。这边电兵先电2把，我不够啊，这农民全被炸，20只龙带走，这样 PtitDrogo 经济可能是快崩了。 不过还有60农，应该还可以勉强再刷。
Drogo was just not quite ready for this push.
PtitDrogo 农民真的很多，我的电兵电得很漂亮，不过这边刺蛇狗都已经包上去了，这边又打出去。他这波打的其实蛮果断的。
showing why everyone has been hyping
这
him
毒
up
霸都
so
有直接去
much.
炸他关
Just
键
no
的
matter
东西。
what Drogo does to buy time, when Serral attacks, he has the Hydralisk spread out, the Banelings coming in, and you could see that Drogo was thinking about dropping those storms, but the units were so well spread, he wasn't sure what to do, and instead he decided to back off. He got choked up between the Nexus and the edge of the cliff, and his army just ended up kind of blocking itself. Fantastic control from Serral, very decisive. Drogo not quite able to hang on to that 4th base. If he defends that attack, he's in a fantastic position, but he just couldn't quite do it.
第3场啊，是那个中路很近的那一场啊 ，PtitDrogo 真的要想办法打个什么一波也好，不要这样打赢你嘛。感觉他实力没有在 Serral 这边啊。
I'm starting to get a good feeling he might be able to perhaps take it all the way, make it
Serral 这个等级实在太强了，连 PtitDrogo 这么强的 PVZ 他都打不赢，表示这 Serral 真的是现在欧洲现在目前是第1 Z 啊，真强。其实也差不多啊，这场。第3场没，就算拿下来，第4场奥德赛也是冲出突。
Obviously, Special gets a rematch or against Neeb as well in the later games here.
That would actually be so cool. We have seen an epic series between Neeb and Special back in Austin, and if we could get another Zerg vs Terran finals in the WCS circuit, that's something we don't get to see all that often. But when we do see it, it is always so exciting. I think the last time we saw it was actually Snoot vs Pult at the start of last year. So it would be so cool to have that one. Right now, we are going to be going into Defender's Landing. Game number 3, only one game away from securing his spot in the semi-finals. The Finnish Zerg, it is Serral.
目前欧洲第1 Z。我现在第5左下角来自法国省地 PtitDrogo。现在 Serral 2比0拿到赛末点。
South Korea for some time and came back over to Europe and hasn't had the result that he wanted. So far in this tournament, he's done really well, but here it feels like he's hitting a wall so far. Serral just refusing to take any damage on his side of the map every single time.
这张图比较有趣的地方就是，神族还要第一时间先把中间的那个石头先打掉，不然的话，他如果没打掉，就会变成2边都会有口，会很难的防守。这边 Serral 是14D 的一个，只是一个单纯的那个干扰。
So, you know, there's actually a wide open
is
entrance.
正确的。
But since he's coming to this direction, he's not going to be able to use that entrance. We'll get one probe on the outside, but the Zealot is now out.
操作一下，没什么问题。
So far, so good for PtitDrogo, pulling these probes to back up that Zealot. They're going to be the body blockers. They need to protect that Zealot. That Zealot is the important damage dealer in this
现在开始咬你兵也很烦。
Waiting for another Zealot
我这边操作要很小心哦，这只要让狗进来就没救。那狗可以在神族家里大概绕10圈。哦，这边后面有小狗要绕上去了，这边要包抄还是什么？这边要包抄的话很危险哦。哦，绕上去了。哦，这边6条狗可以进来了。啊，他忘记动。我上面有母球刚出来，问题不是很大。
Serral is going for a huge gamble here. He's only just started his hatchery.
这干扰的很到位。
Gone up to about 20 Zerglings. This is
这边 Serral 已经就狗出到这样了，我的后面狗真的很多啊。不过这没有狗数。
He's gonna sneak in here. Oh my gosh, Drogo hasn't spotted it.
PtitDrogo 那边是没事耶。哦哇，这样招中了。
Should be able to defend, I think here. Serral doing a little bit of fancy
招中啊。
trickery. Zerglings gonna hit the natural.
后面还有一坨狗啊。这基地有可能会被强推哦。这6条狗在往上穿，哇，这 Serral 打的真的是很溜啊，很灵活啊，这2话没逼掉。 毕竟那个还是一颗母球，还是可以干扰的。
both players expanding around the same time.
经济角度来讲，其实 PtitDrogo 还能打，毕竟他是一个那个嘛，就正常开，死大概1-2只农其实还好。因为 Serral 还没有开下3矿。
Walkers or fighting units, and in this case, if there is a bunch of zealots and an adept moving across the map, you have to make.
大家赶快把这外面口给封了。等下外面口用2个兵营封就可以了。这很凶啊，2个捆战士，1个教室去做前压。啊，这边中间都没有王虫，这边啊前面有王虫，他应该是有看到。
into a more regular game.
来不及咬掉，那这边有点危险。
But there we go, Drogo. It's going to force all those queens.
3只妈妈逼退这3个东西哦，还行还行。
To put the pressure on, going to rotate to that third base. Already has forced out a few Zerglings and slowed those drones down. No need for Drogo to do anything more here. Of course, there was a small mistake from Drogo in the midst of this. He did delay his warp gate research by a very long time while he was busy microing. But I think the big question though is where does Drogo go from here? There's no Twilight Council. And he's going straight into robotics tech.
It's always so awkward, right? You go into
还是他直接开3矿，有那么偷吗
？And then you find yourself having to make these gateways, going into a big wall because you're afraid that there's going to be a Zergling.
这个哇，
actually missing here.
立场有洞啊，有洞100分。风侦察。
But yeah, like I was saying, this is a little awkward here for PtitDrogo.
哦，这是打一波，打一波，他没有3-4器哦。 没3-4器的话，就有可能是直接的，这几兵营啊，这应该是2不朽吧，2不朽的一个压制。虽然他现在开3-4器，不过他给我感觉好像在打一波。不过他还是放他3矿。他3矿那么晚下，吓死我！我以为他打一波。
But Drogo here, always the macro man, always
没有确认你开3矿，
just going to be gathering
这样就知道你不是打一波。VCBF 打营运，打营运。
Can't fault him for this one. As
这
you
可能会
get
提
to the
冲锋
middle
狂。
stages of this map, it can actually be very powerful for Protoss. There's a lot of choke points, a few nice areas for Protoss to expand to. It can be a little bit difficult for the Zerg player to find an angle to get their aggression going.
Serral is fairly low economy actually.
我觉得骚扰真的不错。
Most Zergs would like to be, but I feel like.
我觉得农民鸟掉哇，这非常的，这狗真的操作的很强啊。哦，这嘴里卡的漂亮。这场 Serral 变蟑螂，他出蟑螂。不过也有可能这蟑螂只是为了挡中期的一波，所以他后面还是会转4者。看一下他会怎么打。 看我们想要放4者受血了，不过他 BV 倒是没有下。 我真的知道蟑螂火蟑螂一波，因为他没有放 BV 哦，爆狗一波一波。在这边他进攻的点应该是往3矿这个位置，因为3矿这个位置非常宽阔。人狗很多，可能看不朽数量，不朽有2台，第3台在做，哨兵有6个，感觉这立场一定要包得好啊。 看一下立场，这包的还可以。那后续的狗，后续的狗，这 Serral 把那个立场砸慢了。那就感觉好像守住了吗？后续的小狗有没有跟上？哦，没跟上的话，这样守住了。守住就要优势了啊 ，PtitDrogo。
Like sure, PtitDrogo doesn't have like a massive supply lead or anything, but if he keeps on holding on,
这边只要一直抓叉就好。火蟑螂带狗其实还蛮怕叉。
Archons though are coming in now and they are fantastic against the Zerglings.
不过这边还是很危险。这一波只要守住就绝对一定是 PtitDrogo 这边优势。我这边我敢大胆预测 ，PtitDrogo 优势很大。
He's only now adding roach speed in a 4th base. Serral is not well set up for a macro game.
Serral pulls back every single time it feels at the perfect time. He makes the Protoss use the most force fields that they need, and then pulls back and then.
Serral 选择一个中期的一个火蟑螂带狗的一波，这样打其实是正确，因为这张图很近。那如果这样打的话，其实接兵是蛮快的，只是他没想到 PtitDrogo 的防守其实是很强的。立场刚才是瞬间把1/3的蟑螂隔在里面，那 Serral 也没有第一时间先把那立场踩破。他如果踩破，然后再往前进再丢，说不定有机会可以打破 PtitDrogo。可是 C1 放下去，这边其实农民一直落后。你要先打一波吗？打一波其实不太明智啊。这边其实再冷一些会比较好啊 ，PtitDrogo 这一波有点冲动。这波这个太冲动了，他怎么这时候这样？太冲动了。这波 Serral 要挡下来其实还行吧，虽然不朽很多，不过这其实质量没有说很高到哪，这才1攻的神族部队。
Serral here managing to hold on so well with his pure Ravager
army. PtitDrogo 怎么会在这时候压
While he does have the higher quality army, it's starting to get pulled apart a little bit. The Charizard's going down. Those Ravagers started stepping so well.
好，这边人精砸掉赢了。这边恭喜 Serral 先前进到
Drogo's attack will be held. All of these expensive tech units will not have any way of getting out of there.
And Serral's micro in this fight was incredible. Recall out of there.
这边就算铝扣也没用啊，这边其实质量已经完全不成正比了。即便 Serral 这边没攻吧，我这边靠兵的数量其实就可以淹过你。我刚砸，这母球信会不会爆啊？没爆。
Serral is just so decisive here. Drogo thought he was droning up,
2个白球不够看，这边不朽只有1台，觉得 Serral 可能随时都要打出去，不是 PtitDrogo 随时都要看守住。不过我还是觉得他现在劣势很大 ，PtitDrogo。
I mean, so far it's looking good. There's only a couple of units left for Drogo. He's trying to hang on, but it's just so difficult against the micro.
看看2攻的神族部队能不能守住。好。勉强守住了。
And Serral is still being aggressive here.
Serral 在爆兵哦。
So many Zergs who just kind of stand there, try to take the fight head on. No,
其实现在优势还是在 Serral 这边哦，毕竟他刚刚已经把 Serral 正面部队吃了一波，而且是几乎没受到什么损害啊。这边我这样往后退，这样往前顶，边甩边打，边甩边打。这边慢慢拉出来，直接跟你决战。这边不朽盾先打一个，这边插是蛮凶的，插直接顶了上去。我只剩下白球的话，其实不够看。再拉扯，再拉扯。新的插接上来，不朽，感觉 PtitDrogo 好像又打回来。这攻防优势还是有在。我的火球真的是很准。其实我觉得 Serral 现在要提一防。他如果真的要一直打一波，其实他提防就好。这样续战力也够，反正你是用火杖在丢的。那 PtitDrogo 其实要赶快提3攻，赶快让自己的神族质量变强。有可能是打太紧，忘记提3攻。但其实这3攻其实比这些兵还要重要。因为3攻也才200而已，不过没有4个不朽，5个白球，家长会配兵哦，爸爸妈妈一起来打。这边4神转出来，那4神转出来就不好讲。不过这一样是冲突是没有质量部队，是没有攻防的。所以 PtitDrogo 只要刷一波叉应该就可以了。因为叉其实蛮多的。
and that he's going to be fighting against
我这边
Archons that
Serral 到后面持续在转刺蛇。
area that they all can be attacking.
Still a very scary army for
Serral
Drogo right
部
now.
队是很脆
Serral
的
has to be very careful.
随便白球摸一下就残血了。
No storm on the way. There is no super good counter to these Hydralisks. Yes, Archons and Immortals can fight well against them, but it all comes
再
down
往
to
Serral 这
positioning.
边释放去做
Many
进攻吗？
Hydralisks
没有，
coming out.
推
This is
手
getting
推手
so。scary for Drogo's army.
人技没到啊，先退吧。
There is nothing to hold him to place. You can't force field the back of his army and make sure that you
这
can.
边白球真的很多啊，这边没有毒爆虫，这边能不能顶住？这边插很威武，黄战士太威武了。这样的话 ，PtitDrogo 现在只要再等一等，等一波插，然后追上去。
And Drogo here
这波真的有
using
机
the
会啊
Archon charge of the Immortals so well. That upgrade advantage working out so well for him. These Hydralisks just get
好，
shredded
这
by
边
these
插上
Giant
去，
Force.
这
The
边
Archons and Immortals
冲
coming
突
in. The
已
Queen
经没有
is
蟑螂去
desperately
做
trying
肉
to
盾
tank
了，
for
这边
them,
纯吃
but I
蛇，
don't think Serral
速度
has
虽然高，
had
可是都很
enough.
脆。
Drogo hangs on
被迫拉
against
出
the
农民
wave after wave of Zerg aggression,
这边
and it looks like
可能要
here
炮
on
人老
Defender's
人茶
Landing,
哦，
he
悲
is
剧了。
so close to getting a map on the board. Will he be able to do it? Drones are being pulled to
哎
the
哎
front
哎
side. The
哎
last
哎
couple of Archons and Immortals being
好
forced
像
to
有守
retreat.
住
It
了
looks like Serral might be able to hang on.
我守住你农民也死很多，这边再忍一忍。守住归守住，可是你现在就劣势了。 我这边双线插狂战士哦，但是神族3攻好，那又是不一样的情景。3攻1好，白球不朽，随便磨都可以杀，把这些部队吃掉。 而且等等的狂战士也会变很凶猛，冲上去砍2刀，刺着就喷了。这是 Serral 最后一波，但没有遁地兽是他败笔。他这边真的都没攻防。
Serral knows he needs to get something more done down here, but Drogo's gonna pounce on top of that
我
army.
们最后一波
Enough is enough.
看这刺蛇操作，这刺蛇其实蛮威武的。
Still just needs to buy more time. That storm
DPS 真的
upgrade
很高
getting
啊。
so close to finish right now.
这边狂战士冲上去，白球摸几下，哇，这刺蛇死很快啊！ 3攻的部队啊，这边刺蛇越来越少，感觉 Serral 快挡不住了。继续 PtitDrogo 成功的追回分，这分对他来说关键巨大。1-2。 这一分真的很关键，至少可以让 PtitDrogo 心情稳定下来，他去厕所。
You cannot fault him at all. Great counter pressure after defending that.
其实 Serral 这边也不用太那个，因为他这场其实也是打一盘战术没成功而已，
Didn't get the damage that he needed, but he was so ready for Drogo's counterattack. Those Ravages just crushing the Archons and Immortals. But he wasn't able to break Drogo despite the many, many waves of counterattack that he sent out there. And Drogo puts one back on the board. I wouldn't have had it any other way. After defeating Nurture 3-0, of course, he had to take at least a map off Serral, and now his hope is alive. But the next map he's going into is going to be Odyssey, Todd. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think we're gonna head to a break, so I guess we'll get to talk about this after we come back from it. So we'll see you guys in a minute.
这边因为 PtitDrogo 去厕所，所以休息一下。
supply depot's insufficient. Need creep for that. Your detestable Zerg have evolved.
Nuclear missile ready.
I would warp in more pylons if I were you. Mutation complete.
You have to place that thing on creep.
Metamorphosis complete.
We are back here at WCS Yeonchuping in the quarterfinals. PtitDrogo has just put a map back on the board there, brought one back.
It doesn't count for two, even though it should.
Yeah,
I mean, that's one of those games, I'm sure, after defending that many waves of Zerg, feels like he's won already, but he's going to have to win 2 more maps if he wants to close it out. The next one is going to be Odyssey.
I'm gonna say Serral plays in an unusual way, you know, like he's known for how good he is in the longer games, mechanics and all that, playing with height, but so far he's been very aggressive. Let's see if we will continue here, starting in the top left-hand side of Odyssey, playing as the Blue Zerg, playing for Team Ants.
原来是放完水晶塔就直接探路吗？哎，没有。这边左上角来自芬兰的 Serral。
Spawning down here in the bottom right hand side,
右下角来自法国的法国神帝 PtitDrogo。
After a game like this, he's surely gonna be pumped. He's not out of the woods just yet. Still needs to.
两边的确都是顶级的选手啊。从前几盘看来，其实 PtitDrogo 防守真的做得不错。
Keep in mind, he just won Defender's Landing, probably
只
like
是
the hardest map out of the
Serral 真的太
five
强。
played.
那第3盘是因为地图跟战术的关系，所以 Serral 输了。
He managed to shut it down. And knowing Drogo, you know, if I was
我
thinking
觉
of
得
any other
PtitDrogo 拼一下，他是直接裸双，
kind of a wide open map,
这是对的，因为
take a fourth. I think throughout an
这个图就是要拼一
aggressive
下。
do yesterday with the Archon Adept attack, but it's Drogo. I'm pretty sure he's just going to try and take 4 bases, make Storm, and show us that perfect defense, which he is so well known for. But
这样的话，其
unfortunately
实
didn't work out for him in the
对
first
Serral 来
round.
讲，也不知道说 PtitDrogo 是什么开局。他现在应该还是默认说 PtitDrogo 是走一个教室，然后走冷静的一个骚扰，然后转不朽白球这个配比。
Serral won back-to-back challenger, but Laser took back-to-back second places, which is insanity. Like
一样在工兵过来先干扰一下，
so many strong players
没什么问
in the
题。
region.
BGBY。
Laser's Zerg versus Protoss so powerful, but Serral here.
他中間那個建築應該就是
He is a
BG。
player with a bit of depth. He played that last.
這種蓋法感覺是要直接人進士兵營。
With that very low upgrade style, not that high on work, is really just looking to try and take Drogo out.
出差只是為了擋那個吧，對手是不是爆口？他等一下應該還是會退吧，把這個狂熱師退掉。
Very typical Zerg defensive play for the opening. And then exploding.
他如果退掉的話，就會出那種教師。
That's where so much of the focus is in this
而且他
matchup
直
right
接
now.
出。
Can the Zerg stop the Protoss?
哎，這好像是不退。
I'm mostly surprised about the fight where Serral stopped
狂
kiting
戰是
because
可
he
以
was doing so
追
well
獵。
to that point. I was praising his kiting a lot, and then
這樣的話
the
其實
next
很
fight, he's
穩
gonna。stand there and lose everything, and then from there it
穩
was
到
really
一個
downhill. Like
不知道
obviously
怎麼
he
講開局。
was very committed to winning.
一樣，第二個他都是出追獵，
There
風
was no
正常。
transition possible that could have helped him either. You know, not even something like a Spire. I think he.
不過前面3場，
died if he wants for something.
即便你出追獵，他 Serral 還是有辦法可以找到說哪邊可以進去的。他總是可以找到 PtitDrogo 進去。BV， 這是狼牙風風拳啊！這邊有停網啊 ，Serral 有停網啊。哎，不停網，那這邊放 BV 怎麼？單純做騷擾嗎？不是狗也不知道太多了。 應該有恢復到單瓦才哦。
Not a bad choice here.
雙線騷擾，這也太騷了。
An Archon drop
雙線都投狗啊，真的太騷了。
But his Stalker needs to shut that Overlord down. It is actually
双线头狗，这真的很漂亮。那 PtitDrogo 刚好是打一个人进8BG 的一个冲锋炮，这边挺气的。刚好感觉 Serral 是克到这个开局啊。哦，那这边被打了哇！这边是没有气出教室哦。Oh my god！ 非常感觉 PtitDrogo 已经走远了。这边只要死农民就很亏，因为你这个狂战士几乎都是要靠农民，就这些的农民去做。去打，这样少7只农其实对后续的暴兵真的有影响。这边农民杀9只，完蛋 ，PtitDrogo 这场战术打不出来，真的很惨啊 ！PtitDrogo 想打一个8BG 冲锋狂，结果被人家使出一个双线头狗。哇
My gosh, that's a lot of Zerglings.
My God, PtitDrogo 好惨啊！伟大神族就在此陨落。就是16只农，不知道怎么打下去啊！正面 B1 又被咬掉，这要喷科技也没办法。他唯一的科技就是 VC， 可是 VC 毫无卵用啊！这 Serral 知道的，现在每一分兵对 PtitDrogo 都很珍贵哦，所以现在去咬 PtitDrogo 兵也可以。这农剩下18只，太惨了吧！给条活路吧，大哥！他不补农民的 ，Serral 完全不补农民，直接盖蟑螂塔，直接打一波，这真的不给机会。持续在爆狗，现在好险是我是炮塔。不过还是会死农。哇，这个狂狮掉，哇，这个矿如果也掉，那真的 PtitDrogo 可以直接跳。真是可怜的神族了。刚好是 PtitDrogo 打这个战术刚好被克到，完蛋。这时候PtitDrogo 打出GG，恭喜 Serral 3-1晋级到4强。
PtitDrogo reacted swiftly to the Zergling attack of Serral, but Serral made the most of it anyway. He bridged the gates, and then from there, the flood of links never stopped.
每个选手其实没有说火药味很重哦。我 PtitDrogo 上去就是直接直接放这招。好，这个大连姐姐来采访，听一下史密斯会怎么说。
Thank you very much, guys. Serral, first of all, at the beginning of this year, you got top 8 at Katowice, then you got top 8 at Austin, and now, for the first time in your career, you finally made the semifinals. What does this moment mean for you?
这是你第一次打到 WCS 的4强，你有什么感觉
？For a while, but this is not my goal, so I'm looking for the trophy still.
Well, let's talk about the series against PtitDrogo. It was a 3-1. The one map that you lost was Defender's Landing. Now, it started with a push from your end. It looked like it could still go well when you took out his War Prism, but in the end, what do you think went wrong?
I think it was a bad bulldozer that you
3-1击败了 PtitDrogo， 那你失掉那一分，你是怎么看待那一分？怎么输掉
？Ranking 500, but I don't think I was too much behind after the beginning. And yeah, then I did the road all in. I was rolling all in, I guess, and it changed it.
这边我只翻译那个大连姐姐，因为那个 Serral 那个芬兰的口音太重。
And he gave me a small chance, but it wasn't enough.
Well, of course, moving forward, you're going to be playing a Zerg player. It'll be either a laser or a Cham. And I was looking at your results from the past 3 months. You've played 27 ZVZs, and you've only lost against a Zerg player once, and it was against Snoot, and that was quite a while ago. So you're feeling pretty confident headed into a ZVZ in the semifinals?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident against a laser or.
这边我们都知道你准备了很多 ZVZ 的战术。
I really think I have a good chance to get.
你的预选赛
All right, well, congratulations again, Serral. With that, Serral will be your first player moving on to the semifinals.
打虫族，你有什么感觉
Thank you very much, Smix. Serral taking an amazing performance here against Drogo. The Swarm overwhelms in control.
Yeah,
I mean, he just looks jacked up. He's excited. He's pumped to get into that semifinal. Really well played by him. The first 2 games were looking to be kind of a disappointing, like, oh no, PtitDrogo's just getting completely outclassed. It was nice. I like the question Smix asked there. You could see that he went with a kind of, not quite an all-in per se, but kind of towards that direction. And PtitDrogo showed some life, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
And it doesn't even matter. It was a great series played by Serral. Comes up onto the stage right. Yeah, I'm looking for the trophy still. This actually isn't at all where I want to be.
Good to hear.
Yeah, I know. I mean, confidence, right? We were talking about it. That's awesome. Just a little bit about the series as well. I didn't think that Drogo necessarily played bad in game 1 and the same things he was doing against Nurcho. Key difference, however, the water was so much for Drogo yesterday. And it's funny because I'm watching game 1 and Serral left just enough units behind at his third base to just pick off those Zealots over and over again, which obviously made Drogo's main army smaller. And I'm sitting there, I was like, if Serral leaves units behind at the third, why don't you go for the main? Game number 2, Drogo goes for the main. Serral somehow defends in the main. Drogo has another run by coming to the third and fourth. I was like, this is really good. And Serral shuts that down as well. I don't know, and that's kind of how I watched. I really didn't mind the way Drogo played. I thought it was cool. Trying to do some damage, obviously buying time for his Archon Immortal Ball. But Serral was so ready. So then looking maybe warp in less Zealots and like, capitalize on the idea that Serral leaves units behind.
Yes and no. I mean, game 1. It was PtitDrogo actually was the one that impressed us with a couple of the holds there, but then fighting just a little bit too long on creep and pushing onto creep a little bit too much. But it's kind of amazing because I feel like PtitDrogo playing at that level against pretty much a lot of the lesser Zergs, and by lesser I mean people have won like $100,000. It's probably still okay, but against Serral, you cannot make any of those mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I like that you mentioned the creep, and I think that's something that Nurture was perhaps lacking a little bit yesterday, but we all know you're always 1 or 2 banelings away from connecting to the High Templars. And Serral 的那个口译出来，他说他已经准备好下一场他面对 Eraser 或是 Champ 的胜者。
scary unit to go up against. I still think it was a fun series, especially the first 2 games. It's just nice to see them adapt to each other and try to control. But Serral is just looking like a kid on fire.
A kid on fire. Really amazing gameplay out of him. We do have an updated bracket for you guys to help keep track of everything that's going on. We have another matchup coming up, very Zerg heavy. It's going to be a Laser versus Cham to decide who will play against Serral in the first semifinal of the day. Following that, we'll be going to use Thermal against Kelzer in the TVT, and then the rematch from Austin. Neeb facing
Special.
Which one of these two? Could either of these guys actually beat Serral?
They will be the vast underdog. I mean, Smix again with the great question. I mean, to me that's really relevant. Like the last 27 matches, some of those do go back in time, but there's no way to kind of split that. He's been consistent. It's one thing if he was like 20-7, which is a fantastic record, but some spotted, okay, he's dropped. Other top 5, top 3 Zerg out there is ridiculous.
Yeah, we're not talking about 2015, 2016 results. Like Serral plays so
much.
Go back to like February, the latest, maybe March, but definitely no further than that. So his ZVZ is obviously incredibly good, but never underestimate Elaser. Don't forget that Elaser was like 2016, Serral to
背景要有一点他们解说才比较好，这样就不会太干。
Missed out the first few months because he was busy with high school. He graduated now. Maybe they had a Captain Head event, as Stefano would say. Like, I don't know. So never count out Elaser, but I do think it's going to be a great semifinal. But Serral is still the boy to look at.
Serral, dominating performance here in our first match of the day. We're about to find out who he'll be playing against in the semifinals. Next up is going to be Cham versus Elaser. We'll be right back.
我们等等再会。